tout le monde, it's Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing an update to my Ancestry DNA results. So I did an Ancestry DNA video back in 2018 when I first got my results back, and it was super popular, and since then they've updated my results. So today I'm going to go through what those updates are. If you didn't see my previous video about my results, you can click the link above to watch that video first, but just a quick rundown of the main results from that video. I tested to be about 61% Europe East, and that includes Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, and Lithuania, 17% Great Britain, and 3% Africa North. Sorry, I'm going to be looking down a lot because I have my computer on my lap. And then there were some low confidence regions which had even smaller percentages, and some of those areas included Europe South, European Jewish, Finland and Northwest Russia, Europe West, Scandinavia, and the Iberian Peninsula. And according to Ancestry DNA, the reason why these results can change is because as they get more samples in, they have more samples to compare to your samples, and therefore they can either find larger percentages in some area or some percentages can disappear altogether. So not really sure the science behind all of that, but we're gonna jump into it. I've logged into my account and let's see what the updated results are. Okay, so interesting. So there are quite a few changes. So before we jump into the updated results, just a little bit of background context like I gave in my previous video. I knew that I would have very high percentages of Polish because my father's side is very Polish. Both of my grandparents from that side are from Poland, whereas my mother's side was a little bit more mysterious. My mom's side is Italian, but my grandfather on my mom's side was adopted, so we really weren't sure what his family history was or what his ethnic background was. So now let's jump into it. The highest percentage again is Eastern European and Russian, so that's changed a little bit. They break this down into Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, and Lithuania, but now it's 58%, so it's a little bit lower. But the next one down is the Baltics, which they describe as Latvia and Lithuania, and that is 15%. So they've kind of taken away from the top percentage, but they've kind of combined it with Baltics, which is the next highest percentage. So it's all very like centered at the top in those countries. The next is Germanic Europe, and that's 9%. Then Italy at 5%, and this is interesting because previously Italy was not even labeled specifically. I had 5% of Europe South in my low confidence regions, but it was not labeled Italy, it was labeled Europe South, and it kind of went over a couple of areas, not just Italy. But in that video I was like, okay, well that must count for my like percentage of Italian that I know I have from my mom's side, but now they've bumped it up a little, it seems, to actually say Italy as a whole and not just Europe South. So that's interesting. I also have 4% of Sweden, which includes a few little drop downs here. It has for Central Sweden and a few names I am going to mispronounce, I'm sure. Borlänge, Avesta, and Ludvika, and also Dalarna. I'm sure I pronounced those completely wrong, so I apologize, but those are a few of the breakdowns that they have under Sweden. So it's interesting that there are so many breakdowns for this because I only have 4%, it says, but yet it breaks it down very specifically into these different regions. But anyway, continuing on is Norway at 3%, Finland at 3%, and then the smallest percentages are European Jewish, Malta, and Ireland and Scotland. And the Ireland and Scotland is interesting because my grandfather on my mom's side that I said was adopted, and we don't really know his background, my family thought he had some Irish in him. I don't know how they knew or where they knew that from, but they thought that he had Irish in him, so maybe that's a small, tiny percentage for my grandfather. So that's pretty much the updated results. One of the things that I find interesting is one percentage did disappear, and that was the percentage I originally had in Africa North. And another difference is that in my previous video, I had tested as European West, I think is what it was described as. And I got excited because I was like, okay, yes, that counts as me being a little bit French then, because it said that that included France and Germany. and I studied in France. I speak French, and so I was hoping that I had a little bit of percentage of French in me, but it looks like that is no longer the case because now you can actually search further in to what they tested, so not just the results that it came up with, but you can go to click see other regions tested and go through all of the continents, and it breaks down into more specific regions. And so if I click on Europe and I go to France, it says that there are 0 connections there. So no true French in me according to Ancestry DNA, but that is okay. So very interesting. Little small changes, but that, you know, resulted in different percentages throughout. Another small update they had was to the migration pattern or the migration route. Originally I was part of the Pennsylvania settlers group, which I still am, but now they've redefined it a little bit, and it specifies that it was with the Western Pennsylvania settlers, and the regions changed a bit. I forget exactly what it was before, but I know it had something to do with the European West, and now it specifies that it was from the regions of Ireland, Scotland, and Germanic Europe. So pretty similar, but a little bit more defined, so that's interesting. Another thing that I've really enjoyed from the first time I filmed this video was that I've actually connected with one of my family members, a distant family member, that has created an enormous family tree. So on Ancestry DNA, you don't just get your results, but you can start creating a family tree and placing together people that you find either through the DNA result comparisons or just with people that you know that are in your family, and you can start building it and creating a big tree to trace your ancestry. And so her and I got to talking, and she invited me to join her family tree that she's already been working on for a long time. And it is so big. She's put so much work into it, and it was really cool to see all of my family traced back generations and generations, and just how big the family really is. So yeah, it's been really fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed learning about the updated results. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to answer them. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. I make videos every Wednesday, so if you don't want to miss out on anything, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Thanks again for watching, and à la prochaine. See you next time.